Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Apex Tiger, and we're coming in with my New Game Plus playthrough. I cut it down, trimmed it up, and this is just pretty much the main fights I went through to get to New Game Plus. I was using a Faith build. It was a good time. Most of the game, actually, my Great Sword was only a +9, but it still did really decent damage, and I went a long time without dying, as you'll see. Taking out the Tree Sentinel was doing pretty good. These L2 specials are good for trading, or just getting off good poise damage. What's awesome about it is when you use it, it also heals you. So if you trade with an enemy and they get hit, and they hit you, you'll heal most of the damage back. So that's pretty good. Coming in at Margit, a couple of L2s take out most of his bar. Try to get some mana back, avoid the hammers. The thing is, like, a charged R2 does less damage than just an L2. So, and it gives you some hyper armor, which is nice, because a lot of attacks in this game don't give you any hyper armor. Going straight to Godric. We ran straight through his castle. Didn't really need anything, because our first playthrough we got all the items in the game. We were trying out these sleep pots to see what they did against bosses. That was a bad roll. Turns out with Godric here, he just gets stunned for about half a second. Holds his face, rubs his eyes, comes back. He said, "Oh, it's a little drowsy there, but nothing big happened." So I was like, "All right, let's start the fight." We didn't use Tish at all the first playthrough, so we were playing with Tish the second playthrough. And Tish is actually pretty good because her special is throwing out the dark magic, and it ticks down a percentile of their health. So in these New Game Pluses, that percentile of health is greater than in just the new game. So it's pretty awesome. Combining that with my L2s, we're taking out Godric pretty well. Pretty quick and easy fight, honestly. Oh, I ran out of mana, wasn't paying attention. But even after our buff goes down, we still do decent damage. 1200, 1400 damage. Not bad. Cannot complain. He has a lot of dialogue after his fight. I just left that in there. Getting our first great rune though. After that, we go get the key to the academy. Out dragon the dragon, by the way. This dragon breath is really good. These are the only two I typically use. I haven't really used the fire one so much, because these ones just do the job so well. And that rot tick is really nice. I don't think it's a percentile damage. I think it's just a 100 tick, but I'm not really sure. But either way, it keeps the damage flowing.
Well, I can't hit anything.
And I'm just whiffing left and right here. Somehow this whiffs.
Nothing.
But in the end, we get an R2. Clean that up. Come back to the academy. Head on through the seal.
First time around, I didn't realize that meeting place map showed me where the key was.
So I'm doing this whole commentary at one take, just to see how that goes. This is the Red Wolf of Radagon. He's quick, he does high damage, but he also takes high damage. Low defense, he's basically a glass cannon. Trying out this Omen spell. Does decent damage in PvP. Let's try it out in PvE this time. I did a lot of PvP my first playthrough. Probably like 20 hours of PvP, so It was fun. A lot of ganks once you get to the higher levels. A lot of just 3v1s of dudes sitting around waiting for you to spawn, and they just all attack you all at once. But around 150, people aren't as like going through the game and PvPing it. Like each boss was a good time. You can always find people around Godric. Find people around the Godskin duos because they get stuck there. But oh, my alarm's going off. I should probably turn those all off. But this fight was pretty easy once we got through the first phase. You know, take her down in one cycle, which is nice. I've seen some playthroughs where people take 2 cycles. I think it's just the DPS check. But coming in, I wasn't really paying attention right here, and I just got blasted. Oh. And then trying to recover from that wasn't very smooth of me. I missed my jumping R2. Take huge damage.
Oh man, I haven't even got
a little bit of panic.
Hold up.
Not too bad though. We reset. Come in, start stun locking her. After a moment, still resetting here.
Alright, the reset's not working very well.
And then we go in.
No.
She actually has quite the defense, only taking 770 damage from my special. But her health pool's so low it doesn't really matter that much.
Oh my god, this fight is so bad right now. That was rough.
We take her down pretty quickly. Bloodhound tries to grief me there at the end, but I just say, stay away. And we're moving on to the next one. We go up to the castle, fight Royal Knight, Loretta. It was a fun fight. Sloppy, very sloppy fight, but, you know, in the end, it was a good time. Got this shield that blocks like 89% of magic, so that's pretty useful in this fight. Still trying to figure out which attacks can hyper armor through, like light attacks and stuff. I figured the greatsword would have more hyper armor than it does in this game. It does not have very much hyper armor at all. You get flinched out of a lot of things. But she's very evasive on her horse, so trying something different out, using our Omen Strikes. That did quite a bit of damage, but kind of locked me down there for a second, so. And I get kind of lost in my inventory. As I was saying, kind of a sloppy fight, but we pulled through. We're actually tanking a lot of her hits pretty well for New Game Plus. Especially with this shield. Great at blocking those projectiles and stuff. When I can actually block. She goes for a Hail Mary there. Gets me in the back, but I just come in and I was like, alright, I gotta end this. Just one shot. I can't be dying on when the boss is one shot. But it gets pretty close here. I end up becoming nearly one shot. Safety heal there at the end just to protect myself from her projectiles. We start Ronnie's quest. We end up doing this whole thing just because it was a good time the first playthrough. And I might have missed a couple steps the first playthrough, so I wanted to be like really thorough and actually get the full experience this time. So I actually went and found Blade and stuff. Went down the river. Got all the torches. And then we came to the Ancestor Spirit here. Pulled out Tish. Fully buffed up. Let's see what we can do here. Immediately goes into a jump.
Run away.
We go for rot damage. Good tracking for the most part. With Tish's dot, we're dealing about 5,000 damage off the rip. Doing really well with that dot. 6k, look at that, it's just ticking up. We're playing it safe. It's a lightning bolts off. Basically a full combo of damage there with Tish. We find this Knight Cavalry just going through the map. If you knock him off his horse, he just dies right away. So, then we go up to get invaded by this NPC. On our way into Caelid. Fight Commander O'Neill. Shaq's got a big O spear here. We pull out Tish just to because he's got a bunch of summons, so we're just trying to get some aggro off us. Seeing if these sleep pots do anything. Not really. Which is fine, I guess. We get one stun out of him with the sleep pot. Gets us 2 L2s for free. Tried to hyper armor through that. It didn't work very well. Panicking a little here. Getting myself stuck in a corner. Pull out some mind incantations. See how well that does. It didn't do that great. And I almost went madness right there, so back out of that tactic. Go into rot against the rot guy. Hindsight 2020, not the smartest move. Probably should have just used ice. You know, this guy's very similar to the other commander up in the ice castle. Now that I think about it, he's actually very similar to that guy. That guy has like the pirate's leg with a thunderbolt. He also summons people. So now that I think about that, that's interesting.
Oh no!
I get a little low there.
Sloppy fight all game.
The end of this fight's a little sloppy, but we finish it out. Still no deaths. Doing pretty good. On our way to Radon for the festival. I was worried about this fight.
Alright, Radon.
But you know, we wanted to get the full experience, so hop on our horse. Get a couple summons out here. And I was like, wow, he did very little damage there, surprisingly. Because my first playthrough, I spawned in here, I was way under leveled. I was like level 39 when I showed up here on accident. Luckily I had gravity stones where you throw the 2 chunks of rocks out of your staff. So that was a pretty good spell, and it took him down pretty well. You would think since he knows gravity spells, he'd be resistant to it, but he's actually not. Very resistant to it. But this time around, we pull up Big Rot. The Rotten Breath attack. Trying to get into aggro on somebody else for just a moment. And we get the Rot here, and he re-aggroes onto us. But we get the Rot off. See if poison does anything, so we weren't really sure, so we just chucking poison at him. We threw 5 at him. The tick seemed like it was going faster, so I'm not sure if you can be poisoned. But turns out poison is pretty weak in this game, just all around. I also didn't realize that you could charge this lightning bolt at first, which is like some good versatility. You can like charge it up. I am still getting my alarms to go off. What am I doing? You can charge it up and get bigger damage, or you can cast it off quickly. I cast that shield skill right there because it gives you a moment of invulnerability, and I know if you get hit by that comet thing, it's a one-shot pretty much. We take him out pretty quickly right there.
No shot. No shot did Blade die.
We were worried that everybody died.
Everybody died.
I was like, oh no, everybody died. So I was unsure if Blade had died or not.
No way.
But in the end, he ends up surviving. We go to a gal here just to try out a different weapon. We pull out this big, rotten great hammer.
Ow.
This guy's busting our back open with a giant fireball. Somehow he poises through that hit. Somehow I don't hit him right there. And then he starts.
I'm not gonna die
He almost kills me right there.
All game. No way.
I cannot hyper armor through any of these attacks. That poison swing L2 though does pretty decent damage.
Oh, it actually does 1,600 damage. What the hell?
End up getting this fireball spell. I think I already had one, but I think I put it on later just to try it out. Turns out I didn't really like it. This NPC invader from the guy that just sits on the wall. I don't really get his lore.
No.
I also haven't read it. I should probably read his armor description. And then we go over and fight our mimic tier. Nothing too special, so we just show the end of it. I ended up giving him poison darts, and he ended up poisoning me. I just thought it was kind of funny to fight him that way. And going down, we make it through the Rot Lake. We didn't really fight the dragon soldier in the Rot Lake this time around. We just avoided him. And here's our fight with Estelle. We pull out Tish. Tish thinks she's got infinite range, but she doesn't. She just instantly throws out a dot. So, Tish is pulling some pretty good aggro here. I'm going for some decent R2s. About 1,400 damage, 1,300 damage, not bad. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to get out of this one. But, luckily, I don't take too much damage. But that was kind of some crap. It disappeared from that point. I thought it was going to go somewhere else, and it comes back in the same spot. Almost kills me. And then it teleports so far away. I fail the roll there. Now we gotta avoid the flail whips here from the tail. Tish doing some decent damage over there, 1,500. And she takes the aggro just long enough so I can get some rot off. I only get 2 ticks of rot though. And then I get slapped. Trying to get this rot off before he does this, but it didn't work. But we did get the rot dot off. When I say dot, I'm saying the damage over time, so that's the tick down health. This is his ultimate basically, or at least one of them. And we avoid the gravity grab. Tish gets stuck in it, but it's not too bad. Finishing it off with some lightning. And that was a good fight. I still have not died to that fight, so that's good. Carrying on. We get the Dark Moon Ring. Move ourselves up. to the Glintstone Dragon Adula. Another sloppy but successful fight. Wait for that to go through because I knew that was a homing attack. So I used the environment. I was blocking there, but apparently you can't block from overhead. Spamming aerial attacks on me, not cool. Goes for a couple stomps. I come in with a jumping R2. Do some decent damage. Oh, whiffed. Tracking. Oh, my tracking. Coming in, I roll through that one. Get a big R2. Get an L2 in here to cap off my health. Just to get my buff back. Decent combo to an R2. Go L2 again. Big hit for 1600. Go again. Big hit for 1900 damage. And then get the critical to finish it off. Yeah, it was a decent fight. Coming in, we find Ronnie. We marry her. And at least that's what it seems like we're doing. She gave that two fingers a nice little paper cut down the middle. Have you ever got a paper cut like that? Oh my god. It's one of the most painful places to get a paper cut. So we bring Ronnie back to life. Some good stuff. We become her lord. I guess she's our lady. We end up out taking her ending this time because our first playthrough, that was our first ending, was the Ronnie Moon ending. And working on achievements, so this time around we don't take it.
So it was thee. Perhaps
I think we actually become the Lord of Madness
I am pleased, however.
in this ending.
I go now to the night sky. I bid thee travel, and once all is done.
Alright, here's some of her dialogue. We're her lord. We get another Moonlight Greatsword. And then from here, we make our way into the capital. We have to fight off this Dragon Lightning Dragonic Tree Sentinel. Do some decent damage to start off with Tish and myself. I like to think I learned this guy's moveset pretty well, because on one of my secondary accounts, I was using only a dagger, so this guy was giving me a hard time, so I basically had to no-hit him. One tip for this fight is to avoid his lightning strike, you roll right when he pulls his elbow down. So he points his shield up in the air, and when he pulls it back down towards his elbow, that's when you want to roll. But I was basically just face tanking it with my L2s this time around. But tip to avoid his lightning strike, that's how you do it. Unfortunately, here's my first death. I try to summon a Mimic Tier instead of Tish for the first time, and it just totally screws me over. So, I thought I would spawn near the freaking gate, but I skipped the cutscene and I didn't realize that I walked up to the middle, and basically he just stabs and combos me out. But round 2, 1 death in. We spawn near the gate this time. We have enough time to actually get our buffs off and summon our Mimic. It was just a bad move on my part. Skill issue for sure. We try to see if Madness does any damage. 1245. It's not too bad. We try to see if Flame Torch does anything. It really doesn't. This is a sleep torch that apparently scales with faith, and it's supposed to put things to sleep, but it didn't. But my Mimic came in clutch right there. I probably would have died without him. He got him down to half health for me with that Rot Blast. I realized I ran out of mana here. Homeboy pulls aggro. I hate having to dodge that attack anyway, so I'm glad Homeboy pulled the aggro. We pull some Omen spells. He's pulling aggro again. Mimic Tear's still good. Takes a lot of damage. He's still beefy. He doesn't do a lot of damage per se, but he takes a lot of damage, so he was useful just as a tank. He got me killed the first time around though, but this is just a little highlight actually. This guy almost kills me. And he was just right in front of the boss. But moving on, we go and fight the demi-human Queen Margot. So there's two Margots in this game, which is interesting. There's Margot, and Queen Margot. And going on, we fight the full-grown Falling Star Beast on our way to the volcano. Our holy L2s are doing very decent damage. 1900, 1600. The 1619. That's San Diego's area code, by the way. 1619. So he does the same move as Estelle right here, which is interesting. Possibly some sort of lore that I don't know about. I run out of mana. Oops. Pop an FP pot. Try to roll that. And another roll just has a really big hitbox. Coming in for the last hit. We trade. Good stuff. Moving on. So coming in, I had a really hard time my first playthrough with Commander Neil, because I was super underleveled like the whole game. Pretty much the whole game I was underleveled, so these guys one-shot me. He one-shot me, his little minions here one-shot me. It was just a bad time for me. And I was playing as a caster, so none of my spells had any hyper armor, and they also didn't do that much damage. But this time around, once you get his summons down, it's a pretty GG fight after that. We're just trading, Mimics pulling all the aggro. I'm over here getting a Frost proc on the Frozen guy. The dude that does ice storms, I'm trying to ice proc him. Then I pull out the Fireball and realize it does big damage. It's a little inconsistent on its tracking because it doesn't have any. But I was like, huh. And then I was like, I wonder if Madness does any damage. And I pull out the Madness spell at the end to finish it off. And that's another GG's. Carrying on to the Fire Giant. I cut this down a little more than I should have probably. But get under his feet. Avoid the big shield plate. He's got so much health. Realize that I needed to attack the foot that's kind of braced with a bone that's not his. If you look, his left foot is like damaged. And braced with like another fire giant's foot. Femur or whatever. Coming in, trying to get some rot proc. I always like that rot proc with this Faith Arc build. I got like 60 Faith and 40 Arcane. and that does me pretty well. It could probably be optimized, but I'm not sure how to optimize it more. Probably use a calculator or something off of Fextra. This website. Going in, attacking that foot. Mimic tears, taking the aggro. That's pretty much all he is just a distraction. He does some damage, but not too much. This second phase does kind of give me some trouble when the big fireball comes out. I'm trying to rebuff everything because it's been a while. So tip with that fireball, it has like an AoE radius, and it detects you basically at a certain radius distance. So you can go in, have it detect you, and then veer off and pivot. So that gets the fireball to explode without actually hitting you. So from here, his damage is just significantly reduced. It says he's at a third health bar, but I've done 5k damage and it's barely gone down. So it's almost like a full second health bar. But the rock casting's doing me some justice here. We're at 13k. It's got a good range. Spams me with some fireballs. Mimic Tear's just almost 70% health still, so he's doing a great job over there, just chilling. Well, that's our fire giant fight. We go in, working our way down to the Madness Temple. We fight Mog the Oven. Mog, however you want to say it. This fight felt pretty sloppy and long to me. But we found a Mog Shackle, so that was pretty cool. Try to rot him out. Does really decent damage with 3200. I probably could have Mod Shackled right away again, just to double up that combo. But we just let him take the aggro and continue hitting him for another 2k damage. Not bad at all. Used a pillar to block the flaming blood, but then we get smacked out of our Borean's Mist. Going for another one. Try to get that frost proc. Ice is really good. Blood's really good. Rot's pretty good. And we both get frost cast off there, so that's nice. Another 3k damage. I noticed that the Mimic can't sustain the cast. So that's kind of interesting. And then we try to use a fireball on the guy whose specialty is blood and fire, so I don't know what I was thinking there. Switch over to a lightning bolt, get smacked in the face. Rebuff. And then we try a madness spell, see if that works. It does decent damage, 1100. He's stunned down. It should finish him off. Good job, Mimic. Me and you, bro, till the end. Not really, I use Tish way more. So we become the Lord of Madness. And then we carry on. This is our first try on the Godskin duo. We go in. We go Mimic Tier. We get blasted with a fireball. We're in danger. We back up a little bit. Let the Mimic Tier fully come in. Just panic roll. But it's all uphill from here. It's all good stuff. We buff our Mimic. He gets a defense bust. He's taking tons of damage over there. He's already taken almost half his health bar. But we start coming in strong. Get rot on both of them. Use the pillar to block the big fat guy. Take down the tall skinny. Avoid the big fat guy's AoE. Come in, get some more mana. Here comes Fat Boy's roll. It was only a short roll. Now it's a longer roll. Thank God he's just doing donuts around Mimic Tier. Mimic Tier's just standing still, not getting hit. Love when Mimic Tier gets the dragon combos out. Now it's just a 1v2. We have the advantage. We're both casting our dragon spells. I need more mana. He goes for the AoE. I go for the rot. Whoa, look at that tracking. Great tracking. Huge damage. 2900. East goes down. Fat Boy comes in, trying to redeem his teammate. And it's just downhill for the duo from here. I hated these guys my first playthrough. They were abysmal. So I am not ashamed of using a Mimic here for this fight. Moving on. We get rickety wrecked by this guy our first time. The moment second phase came up, he gave us our second death. So we did really well our first phase. Second phase, he crushed us with the first combo. But take two, we're coming in. We want some vengeance. This shield is really strong. It's got great poise. I think it has like 68 guard when it's fully upgraded. So that's more than like the Crucible's great shield. So really quick phase 1. Phase 2 always makes me nervous because he could just easily one-shot me. Luckily Mimic Tier pulls out some freaking really strong double casts right there. Just tanks straight through that combo. Going into a triple cast on the ice. Huge damage. Oh my god, we're getting comboed. Oh god. I'm scared. But I'm going for the trade. We take it out. We get some health back with our L2. Really quick second phase. Doing much better that time around. But as you can see, there's my souls from the first time around. Coming in hot in this fight. I don't know, these second phases are just getting me. The moment second phase comes out, he combos me down. Round 2, here we go. Pulling out the Mimic. It's gonna be a better day than last time. Harder than last time. It's Greg Douchette motto. You don't know who that is. It's like an IFB pro bodybuilding coach. Great YouTuber. He's got like 1 million subscribers. So, with our rot build, you know what we're doing. We're going down for the rot casts. We get the double rot casts. Because Mimic's also over there doing rotten breath. So that's pretty great. We avoid this just with a side swipe. Don't even need to roll. Roll the... We thought we rolled that earthquake. Roll this earthquake, maybe? Oh, there we go. Try to get some ice proc for that 20% damage debuff. And he's going to punish me for that. Trying to get some aggro off me from the Mimic Tier, so that's awesome. Get down to second phase. Skip that cutscene. Roll this grab. Mimic Tier pulls aggro. Gets kicked in the face. I'm over here just rebuffing myself. Healing. Coming with more ice proc. I think that was the ice proc right there. Big damage. He's close to being dead. I panic roll all of these because he just holds his foot up in the air like for 10 years. But we finish him off with some more dragon casting. It's a good build, man. The Dragon Knight, like the Dragon Paladin build, is really good in this game. Coming up, this is just a showcase of my deaths. So we get through Radon first try, and this guy whoops my butt. Yeah, Elden Beast, problematic. We get 3 deaths all the way through to the end game, and then this guy kills me. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So Right there, he got me with the ring. So tip on the ring, you want to run through the wing, away from him, to the other side of the map, and then jump over the ring and get out of the radius. Tip for that death, where he does the thing, you want to roll in 90 degrees, because that tracking is curvatured. So if you roll 90 degrees, you stay out of the way of it. I was running in a straight line. If I would have rolled to the side, I would have evaded that. But here, I never experienced this move before. This is one of his... That's actually the spell you get from his soul. It requires like 60 faith to cast. And I was panicking, and I was trying to get it away from me. And I got off camera, and it exploded, and
bro, there was a homie.
There was just so much going on.
Chasing me around.
There was just so much going on. But finally, 4th time's the charm, right? We come in buffed up. We're coming ready to fight. We switched up our spells a little bit. Trying some different things out. But here we go. Here comes the Mimic Tier. We're pulling out a Rune Arc to get our stuff back, conserving our pots. Trying to get a Rock Cast off while the aggro's on Homeboy over there. He just comes straight through my gas. And then Homeboy gets a Rock Cast off for a decent 600, 900 damage. Gets the tick going. Doing pretty good. We get our L2s off to recap our health. Block that first one. Just take a little bit of holy damage. Let Mimic Tier tank that. And then we try to roll this. And it's just such a big AoE. Nearly impossible to roll. Face tank that. Get behind him. Avoid the AoE. He's going after Mimic Boy over there. I get hit with that somehow. I notice sometimes I don't get my health back from my L2s on Radon. I don't know if they're just missing, but it felt like I was missing some health replenishment there. We're coming in. Our strat here is Rot Breath. Rotten Breath is our bread and butter, our steak and potatoes, our big damage. 3,400 off the rip. We trade. And here's another thing. When you're casting Dragon Breaths and he goes for that golden grab, you don't take any damage. Look at that. That normally takes like either one-shots me or takes like 70% of my health. Takes no damage if you're doing the dragon head attack. So here's my first mistake. I'm running towards him when I should be running away, and I was like, oh, I should run away. And luckily he targets the Mimic Tier, not me. So Mimic Tier takes a little chunk of health there, and then he spawns right in front of me. So that's why you want to run away when he goes out. But unfortunately, I don't know how to dodge his big sword attack very well. But here, Mimic comes in with a lightning bolt. I come in with some Rotten Breath. It takes some good damage off of him, 4,100. I tried to roll that, it didn't work. But here's what I'm talking about. How I rolled the angle, and it kept me from dying right there. Here, I'm just going to wait for him to teleport back or move, because by the time I get over there, he's just going to move away. So I'm taking this time to rebuff. He's not really doing a whole lot over there. I don't know why. But he finally moves in closer. He goes in for the big holy targeters, but they go for the Mimic instead of me, luckily. I get behind him, do another big rotten attack for another big 5,900 damage. Go in again. I'm just ignoring this attack now. I realize that I could just hyper armor through it, which is crazy because you normally can't hyper armor through anything with Rotten Breath, but we take him out. Rotten Breath does really well against Elden Beast. So that was our final boss of the game. Finished it off by becoming the Lord of Madness. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. It's been your boy Apex Tiger. The first time I recorded this whole commentary, I had my mic on mute. So this is my second time going through this one take commentary, New Game Plus, Holy Faith Dragon build. Peace.